What it do, what it do, what it do, baby. We in this motherfucker, man. What's going on? Welcome to the Gridiron. I'm your host, Jersey, the motherfucking king. You already know what it is. Don't forget to say the motherfucking when you say my name. Whew. It's a good week to talk some football. NFL draft, XFL playoffs, USFL week 3. I mean, we got a bunch of shit to talk about, so buckle up, y'all. Let's fucking get it. How y'all doing today, though, man? Let's go. What's going on, Hit? I see you. What's going on with you today, bro? Welcome in, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning to everyone. Sorry we got a late start. My internet was tripping. As usual. But, you know, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. But how we doing today, y'all? How we feeling today? Y'all ready to talk some football today, man? We got a lot to talk about, baby. A lot to talk about. That's all I can say. We got a lot to talk about. Like I said, man, there's a lot of NFL news to talk about today. We got the draft. We got some deals that got made, some trades that got made. Huge trade that got made, actually. Big signing that got made. And it's huge. This week has been huge. The draft has been dope so far. And I can honestly say I'm prepared to see what this season is going to hold in the NFL, man. I really am. It's a lot of excitement in the air for a lot of teams. But let's start off with you know, our top headlines, of course. Let's go. Appreciate y'all being here. You already know. All right, so first big news, Aaron Rodgers finally gets traded to the Jets. Green Bay Packers picked up a couple picks, and also the Jets picked up a couple picks included with that deal. One being if one of the picks that the Green Bay Packers actually got, because they got a first-round pick for this year's draft, they got a second-round pick for this year's draft, and they got a second-round pick. No, I believe either 2 first-round picks or a second-round pick and a second-round pick for 2024 that could turn into a first-round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of this season. So, if Aaron Rodgers does complete 65% of the upcoming NFL season, then that 2024 second-round pick turns into a first-round pick for the Packers. So the Packers made out good in this draft, in this transaction, honestly, in this trade. Better than the Jets did, honestly, I believe, because I honestly think that the Jets should have went for a younger quarterback instead of going for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think, is the answer. Yeah, he might get him to a Super Bowl or whatever the case, or might put him in contention for a Super Bowl. But as far as, you know, getting them there for the next 4 or 5 years, I don't see it happening, because I don't see Aaron Rodgers playing for the next 4 or 5 years. I see maybe 1 or 2 years left for Aaron Rodgers, and then he's calling it quits. I don't think that, especially with him being in the AFC division now, and after all these defensive players going in the draft so far to a lot of AFC teams, they are stacking up because they know that the quarterbacks that are in this division are elite. And now you just added Aaron Rodgers to the AFC. So that's going to change the scale of how the AFC division is played now. It's going to be a lot of defense. Trust me, a lot of different defensive schemes being used now. A lot of different defensive packages possibly that we may see. And just with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets and just giving the AFC East alone, that division is going to be stacked. You know what I mean? You already have the Bills quarterback what's his name? Oh, damn, how do I forget his name? Oh, man. Because he's not a player on my team, so I don't really care. We got the Bills quarterback, Josh. I forgot his last name. I really did. Josh Allen. There you go. Thank you, Throbbing Dick. Oh, my God. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. There you go. Josh Allen. I love the name, bro. Loving the name. Let me give you a shout out. How you doing today? How'd you come across me, man? How'd you find me? Loving the name, bro. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, you got Josh Allen. You got Tua Tagovailoa, if he stays healthy. And you have Maggity Mac and Cheese Jones in New England. And now you have Aaron Rodgers in the Jets. And that's just in the AFC East division. Now let's talk about the AFC conference itself. Now, aside from just those four quarterbacks, you got Patrick Mahomes boys. You got Justin Herbert. You got fucking Trevor Lawrence. You got now Bryce Young coming in for, or excuse me, not Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud coming in for the Houston Texans this year. Just got drafted number 2 in the draft. So there's a lot of top-tier quarterbacks that are going to be, fuck you, the Cowboys are not trash. You can eat a dick. I hate you, sick. Or hit. See, look, you got me talking crazy. I hate you right now. I really do. You're a dickhead. But I love you. Bitch. But you's a hater. Let's go. All right, let's see. We're going to get some news up here. Also, like I said, that changes the AFC in a big way on a lot of different scales because now you have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game leave the NFC. He said that drink the haterade. But yeah, now you have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game join the AFC to go along with one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league right now. You understand what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, man, the AFC conference is going to be stacked regardless. Joe Burrow, come on now. Joey Burrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many. Look, Kenny Pickett's developing. You know what I mean? Look, they just picked up Wes Levis at or Will Levis at Tennessee yesterday, and I believe the second round. I mean, just the AFC stack. Lamar. Speaking of the AFC, Lamar Jackson signs a 5-year extension. The highest paid NFL player when it comes to annual salaries now, $52 million a year for the next 5 years. What? I believe it's $260 million with 185 guaranteed, which puts him third highest under Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson for the highest paid quarterback in the league. That's big. And then they draft Zay Flowers from Boston College, and on top of that, signed Odell Beckham Jr. What? And then the things they're doing in the draft, aside from just signing Zay Flowers, come on now. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Lamar got his bag. Lamar got his bag. And now that Lamar got his bag for the next 5 years, he going to be in Baltimore. So let's see if the next 5 years they can get it done in Baltimore over there and get some more pieces around him on both sides of the ball, because you know they're a dog-ass defense. They're a dog-ass defense every year, damn near. They're a dog-ass defense. That's a top defense in the league every year. So if they could just continue to put more pieces on that defense, that's going to help them in the long run from the starting lineup to the bench. Psh, What? Let's go. You got to imagine what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to imagine what's going to happen. Real talk. But also, you got to look at it from a perspective of the future. They're setting Lamar up for success. They're setting the Baltimore Ravens up for success for the future. And it could be immediate success next year. Now that he has 3 targets, Rashad Bateman, or excuse me, 4. Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, now Odell Beckham Jr., and now Zay Flowers. There's no telling what they're going to do next year on offense. So Baltimore is going to be possibly a scary team next year, especially if that defense stays top tier, stays a top 10 defense like they normally do, and that offense gets to clicking and going. Boy, I'm telling you, it's going to be a sight to see, and that AFC conference is going to be stacked all over the country. Real shit, all over the country, man. The AFC is going to be stacked. Mark my words. A lot of shit happened. A lot of shit happened. The Raiders got Jimmy Garoppolo, got rid of Darren Waller, picked them up a big boy tight end in the draft. They're making moves. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of things are happening right now with this draft and this offseason. So, next season, this upcoming season is going to be something to watch. A lot of teams that haven't been doing well are going to be doing better. I feel that, man, the NFC, I don't know. The NFC is going to be crazy next year, too. Did y'all see what the Eagles did in round 1? Did you see what the Eagles did in round 1? Reunited the 4 best players from the national champion, 2021 national champion Georgia defense. Are you fucking kidding me? You just drafted the other 2 to complete the 4 best defensive players on that defense, which they say may have been the best defense in college history at the time. What? What? Fuck you, Eagles, okay? Fuck you guys. That pissed me off. I feel like Michael Parsons. I'm sick to my stomach. You got Jalen fucking Carter and Nolan Smith. I'm sick to my stomach. I was sick. I was sick to my fucking stomach. Like, ugh. Just, ugh. I wanted to throw up in my mouth. I really did. I wanted to just throw up in my mouth. Ugh. Just to even think about it right now. Ugh. I can't believe it, bro. Like, y'all let them do that? Are we serious here, people? Like, come on, guy. Come on, guy. Like, what the fuck, bro? That shit just baffles the shit out of me, dog. Like, that shit baffles the fuck out of me, man. And, oh my God. I'm just like, holy moly donut shop, bro. Are you serious? Like, I really feel like that because I'm a fucking Cowboys fan for one. So now the NFC East division title is looking further away, even more, even more. Like, listen, Hit. I'm mad that the Eagles just stacked up their defense the way they did. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith was on that 2021 national championship Georgia defense. And now they just added them to their defense with 2 of the other best players from that. Like, come on. And then what pissed me off about the Cowboys, and in round 1, we go and draft, instead of getting fucking Michael Mayer, who was available at tight end, who will definitely fit our fucking offense, you go and get a fucking defensive tackle. That would have still been available in the fucking second round. Like, come on. What are you doing? But we did pick up a linebacker from Texas and Demarion, I believe his name is, or DeMarvion, I believe, Overshown. Whew. He looks impressive. He looks impressive. Hey, I'm excited for Fantasy League, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm excited for upcoming Fantasy League for football, baby. It's going the fuck down. But yeah, man, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens agreed to a 5-year extension, $260 million, $185 million guaranteed. So, he got his bag. Not exactly what he wanted, but he got his bag. Frodo Sky Potter, the motherfucking poker god. What's good with you, bro? Welcome in. How you feeling this morning? Have you seen the NFL draft? Did you hear the news about Aaron Rodgers getting traded to the Jets? Did you hear about Lamar Jackson signing that 5-year extension for $260 million, $185 guarantee, making him the third highest paid quarterback in the league, and the highest paid annual salary player in NFL history? $52 million a year. What? Yep, they're flocking. He said it's gonna be a whole lot of flop, for 5 more years. That's what he said. He was like, gonna be a whole lot of more flop. Hey, y'all, we are live on Kick and we are live on Twitch right now. Thank y'all for joining me. If you are a HelloFresh shopper, please hit that exclamation HelloFresh in the chat. You will see a code pop up and a link. You can just hit that link and it'll take you to the order page with the code already implemented for 60% off and free shipping. So go ahead and get you that HelloFresh love with that 60% off and free shipping. If you'd like to come join the Kingdom Discord, feel free to do so. Hit the exclamation Discord in the chat. Gotcha. Frodo, Hidden said that he'll see you on Kick one of these days. He's supporting on Twitch today. Just wanted to throw that by and let you know. But yeah, man, hit that exclamation Discord if you're interested in joining the Discord. Help growing our family. We're a small community right now. We're just growing little by little. You know what I mean? So if you guys are interested in joining the family, feel free to do so. Hit that exclamation Discord in the chat, or one of my mods will do it. And again, if you're a HelloFresh shopper and you'd like to get 60% off and free shipping, hit that exclamation HelloFresh in the chat, or one of my mods will do it as well, and you can get that code that you need. Or that link takes you right to the order page. Now, back to the NFL. So, yeah. Man, I'm just, the NFC is going to be stacked. The Eagles just stacked up their defense, and, you know, a lot of moves have been made to, I don't know, man. I'm prepared to see what this season's going to hold, man. The NFL looks interesting this year. I can't even lie. The NFL actually looks interesting this year, and I'm excited to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Definitely excited to see what happens. Excited to see how this season turns out, and I hope we don't get no scripted bullshit. That's all I can say. I hope we don't get no scripted bullshit. Now, let's reverse course, or not even reverse course, but let's change course right quickity quick, and let's talk about this USFL. For some reason, I just had the game up on fucking USA, and see what the issue is. Internet. But yeah, we got a current game going on right now. A battle of two undefeateds in the USFL. You have the New Orleans Breakers and the New Orleans Breakers and the defending, reigning USFL champions, yeah, boys, the Birmingham Stallions. And actually, right now, the Birmingham Stallions are down 14-10 to the McLeod Bethel Thompson-led New Orleans Breakers. Jamar Smith, the starting quarterback from last season, in the first game of the season, got injured. And he is out for the rest of the season now. Oh, damn. And Alex Magoo backup quarterback, now starting quarterback for the rest of the season, came in last week and just went the hell off. But let's talk about this New Orleans Breakers Houston Gamblers game from week 2 of last week, where we got a high scoring game. Ending score ended up being 38-31. And I ain't even gonna lie, Bethel Thompson went crazy. He was 23 for 34, 257 yards, 67.6% completion, and 200 touchdowns with a QBR of 108.8 and no interceptions. 251 yards off of 23 completion, man. That's not bad. Wes Hills, starting running back, 18 attempts, 110 yards, 3 touchdowns. Went crazy. Average 6 yards per rush. Long was 19. Jones, also backup running back, 4 attempts, 12 yards, no touchdowns. Bethel Thompson even ran for 2 attempts, 8 yards. The receiving corps, Sage Sriracha, their tight end, leading the USFL leading receiver right now. A tight end, league leading receiver right now in receptions and targets. He had 121 yards off 11 receptions and 1 touchdown. Dixon had a touchdown with 52 yards off of 4 receptions. I mean, they just went crazy last week on offense. Now, Houston, Bahar, starting quarterback, 18 for 30, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he threw 3 interceptions. So that's what killed him. He threw those 3 interceptions right there, and that's what really, really screwed him. Thank you for the lurks, Frodo. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you. Nene is my wife, bro. That's my wife. Lovely Nene, that's my wife, brother. Yes, sir. But I appreciate the lurk, man. Thank you for being here. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Got to use the restroom. All right, sorry about that, y'all. My bad. But yeah, like I was saying, Bahar went crazy, but threw 3 interceptions. He went 266 yards, but threw 3 interceptions with 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he had a decent game, but those turnovers is what killed them. And that's why they lost 38-31, honestly. Those 3 interceptions were hard. Off of 18 attempts, Pledger ran for 94 yards and scored a touchdown as well. So, I mean, their offense was very, very productive. It was just the production of turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Led to, you know, the game insinuatingly ending with them losing. So, I mean, it is what it is. I can't lie. Hall went crazy. 8 receptions, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ratliff Williams went crazy. 4 receptions, 95 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, like I said, they were firing on all cylinders on offense until those those good old turnovers plagued them, and just, like I said, eventually turn this game into a loss for them, you know. Pain gang, you already know. Let's welcome in a live Phil to the Palace on Twitch. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you for pulling up to the show. This is the Gridiron. I'm your host, Jersey the King. We are live on the Jersey the King show on Kick and Twitch. I want to thank you for being here and pulling up on us. How'd you find me? Just, if you don't mind me asking. If you guys know how I get down, we 420 friendly around this bitch. So, roll up if you got to. Light up if you don't. It's 420 somewhere, and it's time to smoke. Let's get high, y'all, and let's talk football. Yes, sir. Now, like I said, New Orleans stayed undefeated. Houston falls to 0-2. Now, back to who they're playing this week. The Birmingham Stallions, the defending USFL champions. Last week, they blitzed Memphis. I mean, blitzed the fuck out of Memphis Showboats. I don't know what the hell I was watching last week, but even my wife was like, "That's really the score."
If you got to,
that's really the score. Hey, I see you hit. Let's get it.
Somewhere, and it's time to.
Yes, welcome to the Ebony Chrome Dome hour, bitches. Yeah, fuck you. Yes, though, like, when I say this game was outrageous, the final score was 42-2. Bruh. Bruh. 42-2. Are you serial? What the fuck was y'all doing? I'm just saying, what the hell? Look, let's go over the Memphis stats, okay? All right, let's go. Hold on. I got to go over this, right? Time of possession, 27 minutes, 50 seconds, right? Total drives, 9, right? Total plays, 50. Total yards, 183. Yards per play, 3.7. Red zone touchdowns, none. Red zone attempts, 1. Bruh, they had 121 yards passing off of 16 completions for 29 attempts, 16 for 29. 4.1 yards per attempt, no passing touchdowns. Rushing, 63 total yards, 18 attempts, 3.5 yards per rush. Bro, 2 turnovers, 1 fumble loss, 1 interception. You produced no offense. None, bro. They put in 2 different quarterbacks. They put in 2 different quarterbacks, y'all. White was the starter, 15 for 25, 141 yards. Willis, 1 for 4, minus 2 yards. I mean, White threw the interception as well. I mean, come on, man. Collins, their leading rusher, starting rusher, excuse me. 11 attempts, 37 yards. No touchdown. They had 4 different rushers and only accumulated 63 yards in the game. Bro, what? What the Bro, are you serious? Come on now. They scored 2 points off a fucking safety. Okay? 2 points off a safety, dog. Now, Alex Magoo. Like I said, he came in for Jamar Smith and started last week. 21 of 28, 301 yards, 4 touchdowns, QBR of 149. Bro, what? Bro, exactly. Hit. 2 points? What the fuck was y'all doing on offense and defense? 301 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 149 QBR for Alex Magoo. Bruh. White, their starting rusher. 8 attempts, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marable, 16 attempts, 68 yards, no touchdowns. Magoo, 6 attempts, 32 yards. That's the quarterback, no touchdowns. But listen, they ran all over their ass for 172 rushing yards as a team. Like, come on now. I watched this game too. Sternberger, 5 receptions, 127 yards, 1 touchdown. Longest reception, 47 yards. D. Davis, 4 receptions, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. 16 was his longest off of 5 targets. Sternberger had 6 targets. Watkins, 3 receptions, 42 yards, 5 targets. Mitchell, 4 receptions, 32 yards, a touchdown. Longest was 20. Watkins' longest was 25. He had 4 targets, Mitchell. Kane had 4 targets, got 2 of them as receptions, 27 yards. I mean, Moss, 1 reception, 7 yards, 1 touchdown. Like, off of 1 target. 300 yards passing. Their defense went nuts. 2, 3. Let me see how many sacks they had. They had 3 sacks. Like, Smith had 2 sacks. Tillman had 1 sack. Come on now. Their defense went fucking nuts last week, man. I mean, went fucking nuts against Birmingham. And 2 points to 42. You give up 42 points and only score 2 points. I need to find a new profession. Real talk. I need to find a new fucking profession, bro, because that's wild. And right now, again, New Orleans is up 17-10 against the reigning, defending USFL champion Alabama Birmingham Stallions. Now, last week, my Jersey Generals, my New Jersey Generals got their first win of the season. They are now 1-1. They battled the 0-1 Pittsburgh Maulers, who, like I said, put up a good fight in week 1 and just fell short. Babe. You know, they fell short in week 1, and then they just got impaled in week 3. Now, or week 2. Now, I'm not going to lie. At the end of the first half, it was 3-3. No offenses were getting it going. Defenses were on each other's asses, and they were playing a hell of a game. Quill Girl, welcome in. How's it going? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome in. Good afternoon. I don't know if you're on the East Coast. I forgot. But good afternoon. Welcome into the Gridiron. You already know, where we talk nothing but football, football, football. Yes, sir. But, yeah. New Jersey was at Pittsburgh, and it was a 3-3 game by halftime. Second half, New Jersey just went off. Johnson and Prokop combined at the quarterback position. 13 of 21 passing, 136 yards, and 1 touchdown between the two of them. Johnson had a 91.8 QBR, and Prokop had a 102.1 QBR because he threw that touchdown. Victor, my boy, rushed for 71 yards. He rushed for 71 yards off of 15 attempts, 1 touchdown. Davis came in, did a very good job off the bench as a backup running back. 8 attempts, 21 yards. I mean, it was a good game all around. Receiving, Echoes Looper had 4 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. Longest was 25 off of 6 targets. So, I mean, they only scored 1 touchdown. The kicker did their job. You know what I mean? Just that second half for New Jersey just went all ways for them. And it was just an awesome day. Can I get a shout out for Quill Girl, please? Hitman. Let's see. The Maulers, on the other hand, combined between the two quarterbacks, Williams with a 77.6 QBR, Morgan with a 36 QBR. They Williams went 11 for 16, 70 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Morgan went 8 for 14, 54 yards with an interception. They combined for 124 yards together passing. Terrible. London, the running back, 10 attempts, 38 yards, no touchdowns. Longest rush was 7 yards, 3.8 yards average per rush. Terrible. Gary came in, put up 6 attempts, 19 yards. Williams, 2 attempts, 13 yards. I mean, they just played poorly. 53 yards off of 9 receptions for Henne. No touchdowns, 11 targets. I mean, it's just, you know, come on now. That's terrible, man. That's terrible production. You're not scoring any points, and you can't expect to win. You know, and that's 2 games in a row that they failed to show up in the second half on defense, at least. Now, week 1, they showed up in the second half against, I believe it was New Orleans, and they kept it close. They just fell short at the end of the game. You know what I mean? But New Jersey was just a whole nother story that second half. Like I said, the first half was just a stalemate for both offenses to score. Now, when you get into the second half, New Jersey comes out firing on all cylinders on both sides of the ball, and you get a well-played second half, a closeout. Again, Pittsburgh falls short, but this time they just don't show up in the second half whatsoever. They put up no more points in the game. They go the whole second half without putting up any more points. Their kicker scored their only points for them with a field goal, and you know, it was just a failure for them all in all last week. You know, and so far they're not looking good. They're looking like they're going to repeat what they did last year, was go winless. So honestly, I don't know with Pittsburgh. I don't know if the new black and gold got them feeling better and playing better. At least for week 1 they did, but like I said, week 2 that black and gold did not help them at all. So I don't know what to tell them. We'll have to see what awaits their fate this week when they take on Philadelphia, who's 1-1. Now, speaking of Philadelphia, in the last game of last week's week 2, they fell short to the surprisingly 2-0 Michigan Panthers. Last year, Michigan did horrible. They went 1-9. It looks like a huge turnaround for the Panthers this year. Looks like they're going to have a pretty good season as far as the way they're starting out. Philadelphia, on the other hand, had a hell of a season last year. Made it to the playoffs, made it all the way to the championship game, and fell short against Birmingham. Now, with that being said, Quilgar, I am doing very well today. I ain't getting no sleep, but I'm used to it now. Well, I'm getting used to it, I guess, but I'll be all right. But thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. But yeah, Philly surprisingly is 1-1 this year to start off, and that's because Michigan put a hurting to them. When I say Michigan put a hurting to them, they whooped that ass. They whooped that ass, boy. And the reason why I say that, even though the score was only 24 to 10, just the way the game was played, Michigan was just firing on all cylinders when it came to that defense. They held them to only 10 points in the game, and they did very, very well with holding the Stars from getting in the end zone a lot, and scoring. So let's talk about Mr. Love, quarterback for the Panthers. He went 15 for 30, 50% completion rating, of course. 174 yards, 1 touchdown, but he did throw 2 interceptions. Corbin, the running back, he went off. 11 attempts, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest rush was 52 yards, and he averaged 11.9 yards per carry. Scott the third even came in and put up 15 more rushing yards off 11 attempts. I mean, that's not the greatest. Only 1.4 yards per rush. It's not that great. Haikutini, receiver for Michigan, 3 receptions, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Longest was 36 yards off of 4 targets. Hyman also provided 3 receptions off of 3 targets, caught all his passes, 53 yards, no touchdowns though. Quinn, 3 receptions off of 5 targets, 36 yards, and like I said, that defense just came to play. They got an interception as well. A few tackles for losses, some sacks. I mean, they just went crazy. They were after the quarterback. 4 sacks, 2 interceptions. I mean, you can't ask for more. Actually, 2 touchdowns on defense. 2 touchdowns on defense. No, not 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry. 2 interceptions on defense and 4 sacks. They played a hell of a game. 4 tackles for loss, of course, for the sacks. And like I said, they also forced a fumble, and I believe recovered a fumble. They forced 3 fumbles. They forced 3 fumbles on that defense, and recovered 2. I mean, they played a hell of a game, guys. So, super big credit to the defense for stepping up and keeping Michigan undefeated. They're 2-0 right now. Like I said, we have 2-0 teams battling. New Orleans Breakers are 2-0. They're up 17-10 against the defending reigning USFL champions, the Birmingham Stallions, who are also 2-0. And it's looking like the Stallions are trying to score right now. That game is live on USA right now. That is also one of the networks that the USFL added to their viewing stations for, to broadcast games. It's Fox, NBC, and Peacock. You can also watch the game on Peacock and the USA app. You can also check out the games on FS1 as well. So that's NBC, Fox, FS1, and USA. And you can watch all the games on the NBC app, the Peacock app. So y'all go check out the games if you're not watching it live right now. Now, on the other hand, your boy Cookus, who was loved by the Stars after week 1 for what he did, but week 2, he just fell short. He didn't produce the way he did in week 1. I mean, he still put up 283 yards, 29 completions off of 44 attempts. Still had a QBR rating, which is low as hell, of 64.9. And that's because he threw 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. So that really was a bad look for him. But, I mean, the 283 yards is production yard-wise, but those 2 interceptions is what kept them out of the game and kept them from winning. Colburn rushed for only 23 yards off of 9 attempts, but he did score a touchdown. Cookus, the quarterback, ran for 12 yards off of 2 attempts, no touchdowns. Gray, led their team in receiving with 67 yards off of 8 receptions, off of 9 targets. But Sewell had 4 receptions, 63 yards, averaged 15.8 yards, and Overton averaged 16.3 yards off of 49 yards with 3 receptions. So, and Nico,
welcome to the Anime Squad.
Well, thank you for the follow. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for pulling up. How are you this morning? Appreciate you being here. We were talking some football this morning. Let me give you a shout out. Y'all go check out Aniko. She is a new member of the Discord as well. And she is a great admin, streamer, modder, the whole 9. Let's go check her out, pull up on her, and show her some love, guys. And let's keep this networking going. Let's network and support each other and help each other grow. That's how we going to get it. But welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. I don't know why my alert didn't go off. That's all right. I'll go ahead and get that fixed right now. Oh, Frodo, I got my website fixed. My website is fixed. You guys can all go and check out my new website, jerseytheking.com. Very proud. But you can check out my merch store. You can donate to the page or donate through Cash App. And you can check out just everything I have on there. Just trying to get my alerts back working. Don't know what the heck happened. but they went out on me. And Nico, I'm doing really well this morning. I didn't get no sleep. Been up since 4:30, 4:45 this morning, but I'm doing pretty good. Smoked a couple blunts. Misprint, what's going on, brother? Welcome in, welcome in. How are you this evening over there in good old England, brother? How are you this evening? Again, y'all, we are live on Kick. He said that, pile up. You watching the game, huh? Yes, sir. We are live on Kick and Twitch today, just like we are every week. I appreciate my 3 viewers on Twitch, my 5 viewers on Kick. Love you guys. You are awesome, man. Appreciate everybody being here and rocking with your boy, man. Now, back to the USFL. Now, that completes our Week 2 recap. And like I said, right now we have the Week 3 game starting. Birmingham just tied up the game between the two of the undefeated teams in the league this season. The New Orleans Breakers, who are 2-0, and the defending reigning USFL champions, the Birmingham Stallions, are 2-0 as well. They are tied at 17 apiece. This game is currently on USA Network, so you can watch it on the app or watch it on cable. It is 3 minutes and 39 seconds left in the second quarter. Let me see. Let's check some stats, y'all. Let's check some stats of the Gizan. You gonna give me no stats? What's going on? Alright, something ain't working right. Let's see. Alright, here we go. Alright, so McLeod Bethel Thompson, starting quarterback for the for the Breakers, 9 for 15, 145 yards, 1 touchdown, but he does have 1 interception right now. Currently sitting at an 86.8 motherfucking QBR rating. Compilation from last night's horror stream. I screamed like a bitch. Bro, you had me crying the way you were jumping. Oh my god, that shit had me dying. I ain't gonna lie, this game started off crazy. Birmingham returned a kick for a touchdown at the beginning of the game. But McLeod Bethel Thompson took the New Orleans Breakers and marched them right back down the field immediately on the next possession, or on their first possession, and scored a touchdown. And then Birmingham went down the field. They scored a field goal. They were held to a field goal. Breakers defense held them to a field goal. And then the New Orleans Breakers came back down the field again, scored. And West Hill scored a rushing touchdown off 13 attempts, 69 yards. And then your boy Anderson has 42 yards receiving off of 1 reception. No touchdowns yet. Morris has 1 reception for 40 yards and a touchdown. Lee Morris. And Dixon has 3 receptions, 35 yards. No touchdowns yet. So it's a very productive game right now for the New Orleans Breakers, but it's also a productive game for Alex Magoo and them Birmingham Stallions. They're trying to get back to the championship. Like I said, they're 2-0. Even with their starting quarterback going down, Jamar Smith, they got Alex Magoo to step in and step up. But he's only sitting at an interception right now, 4 of 11, 90 yards. So it's not looking too good. One of the touchdowns came from the running back, Maribel, off a 1-yard rush at the goal line. And like I said, another kick return touchdown today was by, what's his name, Kane. Ran it back for 82 yards. So right now the score sits at 17-17. Like I said, the kicker kicked the field goal. Aubrey, he's 1 for 1, 25-yard field goal to put Birmingham at 10 points. Also, for the Breakers, or excuse me, that's the Stallions. For the Breakers, their kicker also is 1 for 1 right now. Coughlin, he's 1 for 1 for 37 yards, 2 extra points. So, because in the USFL they still kick 1-point tries for their extra points, but they also do the 2-yard or the 2-point conversion from the, I believe, the 2 or the 5, and then they do their 3-point conversion as well from the 10. So now I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it 100, y'all. The motherfuckers bit off of the motherfucking XFL. I'm sorry. Excuse me. A couple episodes ago, I said that the XFL started some shit as far as like the conversions and things like that. No, they didn't. They bit off of the XFL off the rip. Like the 4th and 15 in the fourth quarter, if you're down, they do 4th and 13. The XFL does it from the 25. The USFL does it from the 33. What else? The whole kickoff thing changing. They're not exactly like the XFL, but they're similar. They change as far as changing their rules up. Adding the 2-point conversion from the 5 wasn't any different from any other league. But the 3-point conversion they added, that was from the XFL. What else? Just a lot. The mic'd up shit that they do as well, copied from the XFL. Having their players mic'd up and coaches and shit mic'd up now, that's off the XFL. So like a lot of the things that the USFL is doing is copied from the XFL. Let me just let y'all know. Now the other game we got today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Fox network is going to be the Houston Gamblers hosting the Memphis Showboats. Both teams are both 0-2. So it'll be good to see what happens and what to expect from both teams today. Because like I said, they're both 0-2. Memphis scored 2 points last week against they scored 2 points last week against Birmingham. So let's see if they can put up some numbers and put up some touchdowns and stuff today and score some points. Because that was embarrassing last week. 2 points. Blinking mouse. Welcome in. I don't know what message that got deleted, but welcome in. And the Breakers just scored again. Another touchdown for your boy McLeod Thompson or Bethel Thompson. So that's his, what? Let's see. Second passing touchdown of the day. Yeah, that's his second passing touchdown of the day already. Yeah, Bethel Thompson's on fire. He's trying to give Birmingham their first loss since last season. So let's see if he can get it done. Like I said, we also have the Memphis Showboats taking on the Houston Gamblers. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, on Peacock and NBC, you have the Pittsburgh Maulers going to Philly. Well, it's going to be played at Ford Field in Detroit, but Philly's going to be hosting the Pittsburgh Maulers. I love you, Mama. And they're going to be seeing if they can go 2-1. Huh? Should be up there. If they're not, no, they're right there on the table, man. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Maulers taking on the Philadelphia Stars. So that's going to be a battle of Pennsylvania for sure, even though they're not playing in Pennsylvania. But that's going to be a battle of Pennsylvania for sure in the USFL League itself. Also, you got my New Jersey Generals, who are 1-1, taking on the 2-0 Michigan Panthers. And that will be hosted by the Panthers at home at Ford Field, which is one of the new hubs that they added. They added 3 new hubs. One in Canton, Ohio, the Hall of Fame field that the NFL plays the Hall of Fame game at. That's the home of the New Jersey Generals and I can tell you right now, the New Jersey Generals and the Pittsburgh. No, sorry. New Jersey Generals play at, I don't even know right now because There's no home game. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just checking to see. Because they got it all weird. All right, so, yeah. New Jersey Generals host their games at the Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Pittsburgh hosts their games at the Hall of Fame game or Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Michigan hosts their games at Ford Field. And Philadelphia hosts their games at Ford Field. Yeah, that's weird. Now, Houston hosts their games as well as Memphis at the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. And then you got... Oh, okay. Yeah, ban his ass. Then you got Memphis, like I said, Memphis and Houston hosting at the Memphis Stadium. And then the Birmingham Stallions and the New Orleans Breakers host their games at the Protective Stadium in Birmingham. So, to me, only having 4 hubs is what kills their attendance. Because now your team's fans have to travel just to see them play. Instead of going and getting fields for... What's going on, Misprint? Welcome into Twitch, too. I appreciate y'all, man. But instead of going into this season saying, hey, we're going to just go and find fields for our teams to play at in their cities so that the attendance can be there, they didn't. Instead, they still have hubs, and they're still making fans travel. That's why the attendance looks the way it does. These stadiums have not been filled. Bro, the first game of the season, me and my wife turned the game on. She's like, okay, bro. Me and my wife turned the game on, and she's like, are people allowed to come to this game? I'm like, yeah, there's people there. And she's like, where? She's like, where? And I'm looking, and I'm like, holy shit. There's maybe like 200 people, 300 people, if that. They might have 500 people there, y'all. It's so bad that majority of the fucking stadium is covered with, yeah, there ain't 500 people there at all. There's barely 200 people there, bro. That looks so bad. That looks so sad. Majority of the stadium is covered with just USFL decoration because there's no stadium, there's no fans filling up the seats at all. My wife is doing well, actually. She's doing a lot better since the accident last month. But like I said, it just comes in spurts because of her MS. So, like, here and there, she'll have good days, but then, like, lately she's been having those days where she's feeling that pain, you know what I mean? So, it's just been a up and down road a little bit since the accident, especially with her having MS. But she's doing okay today. She's out dashing right now. She just left to go do some dashing. But yeah, man, it's just weird to me how they do it, and I feel that's what hurts their attendance a lot. Like, them not having hubs is really, really hurting their attendance. And I'm gonna do a video. Another USFL Now, or I forgot what to call my damn video series. Or yeah, USFL Fresh Start, my video series that I have for the USFL, and I have an XFL video series called XFL Now. But I'm gonna be doing another video about the attendance for the USFL compared to the attendance for the XFL, you know what I mean? And honestly, it's like, okay, the XFL took the time to go out and get stadiums for every home team, even though they have a central hub in Arlington, Texas, where the teams live. Like, they get paid for room and board, nice ass hotel rooms and shit like that, and then they have their practice facility out there. You get what I mean? So with that, even when you have their games, your home teams are flying to the city that their teams are from. So when it's a home game for DC, they're going to DC, to Audi Stadium. When it's a home game for Seattle, they're going to Seattle. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to the actual city. Like St. Louis, they're going to St. Louis to the Battle Dome, and they're playing there and sitting here fucking, damn, Birmingham just scored again. It's about to be 24-24. They're going crazy. Back and forth game right now between New Orleans and Birmingham and the USFL. I can't even lie. It's a good game. It's a really good game right now. Despite the attendance, it's a good game. But yeah, they went out and like I said, went and got fields for their teams. The USFL did not take the time to do that, and that's what's killing their attendance. Like I said, New Jersey fans and Pennsylvania and Philadelphia fans have to travel all the way to Ohio and fucking Michigan. You know what I'm saying? There's only 3 teams now in the USFL whose fans don't have to travel. And that's Michigan, Memphis, and Birmingham. No. Yeah, Michigan, Memphis, and Birmingham. Every other team has to travel. And that kills their attendance. But the crazy thing is, even the Memphis fans barely show up. Like, okay, there might be a couple hundred. I'm looking right now. But they're all on. The crazy thing is, they're all on the Birmingham Stallions sideline because it's a Birmingham Stallions home game at their field in Birmingham. But the thing is, they don't have both sides open. So New Orleans Breakers fans have to sit right next to, oh, yes, they do. I'm sorry, but Jesus criminy. There's like maybe 50 people there for New Orleans. Like, people have to drive regardless to see their team. Now, if it was an away game, then I understand. But it's a home game. Or when it's a home game, it's like, okay, we still have to drive just for games. That's why people aren't pulling up. You know what I mean? It's terrible, man. It was a bad idea. And for Fox Sports to own the USFL, you did not put enough money into this league when it comes to trying to attract attendance. Like, you did not put enough money into it. You seen that last year was successful. There was attendance. There was a decent attendance rating when it came to people actually showing up for the game. Because it was new. They only had one stadium, so people were traveling. They wanted to check it out. This year, give us stadiums. Why do you think there were so many fans at these XFL games? Regardless of if the numbers were below 10,000 or not, you had 6,000 plus at these games. Period. St. Louis and DC and fucking San Antonio and Houston and them, they had 20 and 30,000 fans pull up to their stadiums. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the huge difference. They went out and got fields for their teams to play at. So that way people can just pull up. They can go buy these tickets for mad cheap. Bro, if you go and what I found out is if you buy a ticket for an XFL game like an hour before the game starts, that shit dirt cheap, bro. Dirt ass cheap. They're trying to get people in the fucking game. So the prices go down on the tickets. All right, misprint. You know what I'm saying? So the prices go down on the tickets. But that's the thing. What for? Appreciate the lurk, Wisho. But that's the thing, though. What for? Hit? Just to be funny? No, you need real people in there. That's the thing. People are going to know them ain't real people because they ain't fucking moving. And that's the thing. Gas prices is way too high for motherfuckers to have to sit here and travel like that, man. That shit's corny. That shit's corny as fuck, and they should not have to do that. And that's what's killing their attendance right now. That's what's killing their in-game attendance right now, is the fact that these motherfuckers didn't take their money and won't go out and get stadiums for their teams to play at. You only have 3 teams who don't have to travel for home games. And that's Michigan Panthers, because they have the Ford Field now in Detroit. The Memphis Showboats, who are back because Tampa Bay are on a hiatus this season. Fucking Birmingham, where the shit started. Where the fucking hub is at. The initial hub is at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I get what you're doing with the separate hubs around. Multiple hubs around to where 2 teams are only having to be at this, share this practice facility, in this city or whatever. And I don't know. I got to dig more deeper into that to see how that all is working before I want to go further into it. But however they're doing it, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's not producing enough for the attendance to grow. And like I said, whatever they're doing right now is not helping them. So they need to figure it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? They need to figure out what's going to work and how they can go and get fields for all their teams. Especially if they're talking about expanding next year. Because like I said, if you go watch my USFL 2024 expansion video that I got up on YouTube, it'll tell you they went and got trademark rights to, I believe it was 6 teams from the past USFL. And like I was telling people, I don't think they're going to sit here and go and get those trademark rights or request those trademark rights again just to sell merchandise for those old teams. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're trying to expand. And if they do that, how are you going to do that if you don't have a field for all your teams? You ain't got the field for the teams you got now. So how are you going to have the type of expansion you want if you don't have the right amount of fields for your team? If your teams don't have home field for your fans to come to, it's going to look like it do right now, with majority of the fucking stadium just covered up. Or how it is, the corners, like where the end zone's at, ain't nobody there. But on the sides, that's where the people's at. But on the Memphis side or the New Orleans side, there's barely anybody over there. Like, it looks so bad that they barely, if you watch the USFL games really closely, they barely show angles of they barely show the crowd. Like, they're showing it today because it's a decent side crowd in there. Because it's the the Birmingham Stallions, who last year won the championship. So, of course, their fans are going to show up. They're in Birmingham. You feel what I'm saying? But that's the thing. You doing it at the last minute, that's gonna cause y'all sales to go down. You're not gonna get no return on your investment to cover your overhead for the season. Boom. Now we're possibly talking about bankruptcy. And if that's the case, then we may be looking at the XFL buying the USFL out. Why? Because the XFL has done what the USFL isn't doing this season. Filling seats. You may get people to watch it on TV, but you're not filling seats. Like, you're really not filling seats, and it's not going to work. They ain't got no choice, right? They have to say, fuck it, and show it at times because of certain angles. You want to get certain angles on certain plays and shit, especially scoring plays. But it's like, still at the end of the day, pack the fucking stands. Like, bro, the St. Louis Battlehawks of the XFL averaged fucking what, 30,000+ a game for their home games this season? Like, stop it, dog. Stop it, dog. But yeah, Pittsburgh, they host Birmingham this. Oh no, this is next week. Sorry, looking at the wrong week. Yeah, Michigan and New Jersey ended out tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Fox. 9 a.m. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. Pittsburgh takes on Philadelphia. So that game's on NBC. The Panthers Generals game is on Fox. So if you guys want to check those out tomorrow, those will be on. Like I said, right now, the New Orleans Breakers and the Birmingham Stallions are tied at halftime, 24-24. It's actually a good game. There's just no people there. I mean, there's people there, but barely. That's, like I said, that's just sad, man. And it just sucks to see, man, because you want these leagues to succeed. You feel what I'm saying? You want these leagues to succeed because it makes it easier for the NFL to be able to draft these players after seeing, okay, maybe we did miss out, or no, maybe they did need this year or two in the USFL or in the XFL to get better and, you know, hone their skills and their craft a lot more and a lot better and make it to the NFL or make it back to the NFL for whatever reason they're no longer in the NFL. So that's why we need these leagues to succeed. And that's the thing, exactly. No money coming in is going to drive people away. And if you drive people away, there's no succeeding, and then you go bankrupt. Period. The only reason why the XFL went bankrupt in 2020 is because of COVID. Only reason why the USFL didn't go bankrupt last year is because the XFL wasn't around. I can guarantee you that. If the XFL would have been around last year, if the XFL wouldn't have got shut down in 2020 and we would have continued to have good football like we were having, I honestly believe, thank you for the alert, Quilgar, I appreciate it. I honestly believe that the XFL would have stayed around. They wouldn't have went bankrupt. But I do like this new XFL better. I'm not even going to lie. I do like this new. I do like The Rock and Danny Garcia owning the XFL and not Vince and Oliver Luck. You know what I mean? I do like this way better. You know what I mean? So, in all honesty, it still worked out. But I just feel that the USFL might not even be around right now if the XFL wouldn't have collapsed in 2020. Real talk. Because we were getting good football games. The beer snake started. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was there. It was there. And like I said, COVID shut it all down after 5 games. Halfway through the season, literally. And people were into it. You know what I'm saying? People were into that shit. Really, really into it. Just like they are this year. You know what I'm saying? Just like they are for the comeback this season. These motherfuckers are not playing. They're showing their love for the XFL. We love the XFL. I like the USFL. I like the USFL, but I love the fucking XFL. So, there you have it. I ain't gonna lie. There you have it. Now, let's shift gears over to the XFL and recap last week because the playoffs are here. Every game counted last week, especially the St. Louis game counted for them. You know, that was big for them. They needed to win that game, but they needed Seattle to lose, and it didn't happen, unfortunately. So, let's go ahead and recap what happened last week. Because last week was huge. Houston and Arlington, who are playing again this week in the divisional championship in the South, are played last week. First game we had was DC versus, St. Louis versus Orlando, and boy. Oh, my gosh. St. Louis went off, scored a league-high 53 points, or league-high record, 53 points. A.J. McCarron was 28 of 35, 420 yards, 6 touchdowns. Durant rushed for 36 yards off of 8 attempts. And Hakeem Butler had 9 receptions, 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the other hand, the Guardians did play well, just not well enough. Quentin Dormady, 18 for 24, 188 yards with 2 touchdowns. Francois rushed for 27 yards off of 3 attempts. And Thomas actually played a better game than Cody Latimer and had 4 receptions, 409 yards and a touchdown. And then, like I said, it was just hard, man. They couldn't get anything going. Turnovers again. Just Francois came in and that's the crazy thing. Francois is a backup quarterback, and he came in and was a leading rusher. But he threw a touchdown and he threw 2 interceptions. Brown comes in at the end of the game, throws for 84 yards off of 2 attempts, 1 completion for 1 of 2 for 84 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So that's how the game went for them. You know what I mean? Like I said, Cody Latimer was 3 receptions, 35 yards, and that was it. You know, he really didn't do much for the Guardians as far as scoring-wise. Jamil scored a touchdown, 47 yards, 5 receptions. Cannon, two receptions, 51 yards, one touchdown. Rambo, 5 receptions, 57 yards, and 1 touchdown. Like I said, Thompson had 4 receptions, 409 yards. I mean, so it was a good game, but like I said, it was just. Oh yeah, most definitely, bro. Definitely, bro. And that's the thing too. The XFL would have been around still, and they probably would have expanded by now. We probably have more teams in the XFL right now if they wouldn't have collapsed in 2020. But like I said, I think it's better this way with The Rock and his ex-wife Danny Garcia running it with Redbird Capital, because I think this is just going to be led into a better direction than what Vince and Oliver Luck was going to lead the XFL, even though he changed the whole XFL thing around and made it more about football and not no bullshit wrestling gimmick added to football. And yeah, I kind of feel like that too with the USFL, bro. But yeah, with him backtracking, with Vince backtracking on the whole wrestling gimmick added to the football gimmick, or whatever you want to call it, you know, it actually made it a lot better to watch. But I still feel like this is a better direction. You know what I mean? The next game we had, now that was a win that Seattle needed to, or excuse me, St. Louis needed, and they had to put up a lot of points and hold Orlando to a low amount of points, which they didn't. 28 points is still a lot of points, and I think that's what hurt them because of the different tiebreaker scenarios, and that's really what killed them. San Antonio impressed me last week against the best team in the league, the DC Defenders. Playing at home in the Alamo Dome, where the XFL Championship, a.k.a. the X Bowl, will be held on May 13th this year. You got a good-ass game from San Antonio against these Defenders, man. It was really, really a good game. Jordan Ta'amu was 15 of 22 for 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. 1 interception for DC. De'Ara King, the second quarterback on the team. You know, they have a 2-headed monster at quarterback with those two. De'Ara King was 3 of 4, only 33 yards, no touchdowns, no interception. Jordan Ta'amu led the team in rushing off of 8 attempts. He had 45 yards and a touchdown. The league-leading rusher, Abram Smith, had 10 rushing attempts and only 44 yards. De'Ara King had 1 rushing attempt for 1 yard. Jackson gave us 84 yards receiving off of 3 receptions. Blair had 1 reception for 70 yards. Hammond had 59 yards for 4 receptions. Smith had 29 yards off of 2 receptions. Ferguson had 1 reception with 27 yards. Ellis had 4 receptions, 25 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Wolf had 2 receptions and 10 yards. You hear how many names I just named off at receiver that caught passes for DC. What's going on, Simpson? Welcome in, bro. Welcome in. Welcome to the show. How you feeling today? But real talk, you see how many receivers that Ta'amu and De'Ara King hit. They were hitting on all cylinders, man. They were hitting on all fucking cylinders and connecting. But like I said, don't sleep on those Brahmas. They're going to look good next year, because Jack Cohn was 34 of 48, 312 yards. But the problem is he didn't score no passing touchdowns at all. That's what stopped San Antonio from getting that win and making it to the playoffs last week. Because if they would have won that game last week with Arlington losing, they would have been in. Even with a losing record, they would have made the playoffs instead of. Oh, word up. Bro, that was like 10 receivers. Hold on, how many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, because I didn't even name Abram Smith because he only had 1 reception for no yard. But that's 8 different receivers that they threw the ball to and at least got a reception out of, and 7 receivers that had yards. and bro, this is the XFL. And like I said, the difference with the XFL is they all have home stadiums for their teams to play at. The USFL don't. That's why their attendance records is in the thousands, and these motherfuckers are sitting here with a couple hundred. And they're not even announcing the attendance rating or the attendance numbers because they're so damn low. That's embarrassing for a spring league, man. And I feel bad for them. But like I said, the Brahmas, Jack Cohn is going to be a beast. He's going to eventually make it to the NFL. I think he needs 1 or 2 more seasons in the US or in the XFL, and then I think he'll be NFL ready to not only just be a backup, but eventually be a starter in the league. Like I said, he 312 yards off of 34 completions. I mean, he did throw the ball 48 times, which kind of hurt them because Patrick couldn't get nothing going on the ground. I mean, he had 41 yards and 2 touchdowns, but when you only score your touchdowns in the running game and you have no passing touchdowns in the game at all, that hurts. He said all receivers, no catchers. You stupid. No, but when you have 2 of your running backs, because Hillman also had 6 yards rush or 6 attempts, 13 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown, more than likely a red zone touchdown. Well, it was a red zone touchdown. When you have your 2 running backs score your only touchdowns, and I believe the defense scored a touchdown. No. Even the defense didn't score a touchdown. So, I don't even know where the hell they got 28 points from. Oh. Extra points. Like I said, the XFL extra points are different. They don't do the kick point after try. It's a 1-point conversion from the 2-yard line, 2-point conversion from the 5-yard line, 3-point conversion from the 10. And that's them converting those conversions actually what kept them in the game. But like I said, with Jack Cohn throwing for 312 yards, you throw for 312 yards, but you don't make any touchdowns. That killed them. That really, really killed them. None of your receivers got into the end zone. They put up all these yards, but didn't get in the end zone. Akers, 90 yards receiving off of 8 receptions. No touchdowns. Vasher, 5 receptions, 57 yards, no touchdowns. Holly, 4 receptions, 40 yards, no touchdowns. Patrick, 6 receptions, 37 yards, no touchdowns. Mack, 3 receptions, 29 yards, no touchdowns. Yelder, 3 receptions, 25 yards, no touchdowns. Hillman, 2 receptions, 17 yards, no touchdowns. Johnson, 1 reception, 8 yards, no touchdowns. Toivonen, yeah, that's how you say his name. Toivonen, 1 reception, 5 yards, no touchdowns. Brown, 1 reception, 4 yards, no touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different fucking receivers, and none of y'all scored a touchdown. That kept them from winning that game and making it to the playoffs. And I can't even lie, Hines Ward did a decent job coaching this team this season. It's just that some of their players didn't step up or show up when it was needed during the games this season. That's what really stopped San Antonio from making it to the playoffs, on top of this game last week, them not scoring no offensive touchdowns through the air. But you put up 312 yards passing. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, a rematch today, again, of this, it'll be for this South Division title. Last week, we had Houston take on Arlington at Arlington. Arlington, I don't know what they're doing over there. Score was 25-9. Your boy Cole McDonald, excuse me, because Brandon Silver sat down because they already knew they clinched the #1 spot. So all their reserves, their second string, all started for Houston last week. The Renegades actually started their starting lineup because they needed to win that game. Cole McDonald comes in, goes 10 for 11, 120 yards. But 1 interception. Ellaby comes in 4 for 7, 28 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Rushing, your boy Cox, 21 yards, 21 attempts, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. Cole McDonald, the quarterback, he's actually a mobile quarterback. He can move on his feet. He rushed for 66 yards off of 8 attempts and scored a touchdown. And then your boy Ellaby, 1 attempt, 6 yards. Owens, 1 attempt, 4 yards. And they're all backups. Smith had, and this is another thing that killed me last week with Houston, no receiving touchdowns. Even on those little bit of yards, no receiving touchdowns. Everything was rushing. Smith comes in, puts up 51 yards rushing off of, 51 yards receiving off of 3 receptions. Salter had 47 yards receiving off of 4 receptions. Harris had 25 yards receiving off of 4 receptions. Bird had 24 yards receiving off of 2 receptions. And Putman had 1 reception for 1 yard. But that defense is what kept their ass in the game. That defense really, really kept them in the game to win and take it away. Because, I mean, Luis Perez, he's a good quarterback. He's going to be in the league. I said the same thing, bro. I'm going to get me one made. I'm going to get me a Vegas Vipers XFL belt or XFL WWE Championship belt made. And I'm going to get a Jersey the King championship belt made for that shit, too. Trust me. But, like I said, Luis Perez, man, he got traded from the Vegas Vipers in the middle of the season to the Arlington Renegades. And he's been decent in the first 2 starts that he had. But this game, even though he went 22 for 36 for 205 yards, he still threw an interception. No receiving touchdowns. No touchdowns through the air. Again. Brown, 14 attempts rushing, 29 yards. Terrible. Luis Perez, 3 attempts rushing, 20 yards. Harrion, 4 attempts rushing, 6 yards. Harrion is a receiver, though. No, he's actually a running back. Excuse me. He was their leading receiver with 47 yards off of 5 receptions, no touchdowns. Bro, that's what I'm saying, dog. Vander Esch, Sal Cannella had 41 yards receiving, 3 receptions, no touchdowns. Vaughns had 33 yards receiving, 4 receptions, no touchdowns. Vander Esch had 24 yards receiving, 2 catches, no touchdowns. Brown had 22 yards receiving, 2 catches, no touchdowns. Hall, 19 yards receiving, 3 catches, no touchdown. And Arcanado, 19 yards receiving, 3 catches, no touchdowns. I mean, just, I don't know what to say, man. It's just, when you're not scoring touchdowns through the air, you're not going to win no games. It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not scoring touchdowns through the air, you're not going to win no games whatsoever. So, that's just how it is. You feel me? Speaking of the Vegas Vipers, we got blown the fuck out last week. Seattle came to play, and Seattle was determined to make the playoffs, and they did just that. They came up and they hosted the Vegas Vipers. They were in Seattle at the Ludium Stadium, I believe it's called. And when I say they went off, they went off. But shout out to my boy Jalen McClendon. Can't wait for next season, man. He's going to be a hell of a player. Exactly, brother. No touchdowns through the air. No love. No win. Don't count on it. Unless you're just killing them on the ground and you're just rushing all crazy on the ground, then I understand that. But if that's not happening, you got to do something. You got to score through the air. You got to get the ball downfield. You got to put yourself in scoring position. Even if it's just to get field goals. Hell, something. But when you're not doing that, you're not going to win no games. Now, like I was saying, my boy Jalen McClendon, can't wait to see you next season, man. I know the Vegas Vipers are going to be back. We're not going nowhere. They're not moving us. We already know why, because I can go get tickets right now for the next year's games already. Stop playing. I might fuck around and buy me season tickets for home games. Boom, boom. But Jalen McClendon went 6 for 21. Terrible. 64.6 QBR rating. Terrible. Threw an interception. But he had 201 yards. I give him that. Your boy John Lovett, my boy, rushed for 30 yards off of 7 attempts. McKenzie came in and rushed for 11 yards off of 6 attempts. McClendon rushed for 9 yards off of 4 attempts. Sinquay Sweeting 1 rush, no yards, and Burt -4 yards on 1 attempt. My boy Sexton, he went off. He had 2 receptions for 119 yards, but he pissed me off because he celebrated on a fucking pass play. He was on his way to the end zone to score a touchdown, and he fucking celebrated way too early, and the ball got fumbled out into the end zone, and there was a touchback. So when that happens, the new rule change in the XFL, if the ball goes out on the end zone, in the back of the end zone, whatever, the team that had possession of the ball, they continue to keep possession of the ball instead of the other team getting it with a touchback. So Vegas kept the ball, but we didn't make nothing out of it as far as scoring a touchdown. I believe we scored a field goal. Yeah, we scored a touchdown. We did score 1 touchdown, I believe. No, we didn't. Nope, we didn't. We had 2 interceptions. No, I believe we scored an interception touchdown. I believe we scored a pick 6. And that was it. And then we had a field goal. No, we didn't even have a field goal. Sorry. We had a 3-point conversion. That's what it was. So, yeah, that was that was Vegas for you last week. Now, Seattle, on the other hand, knowing they had to come in and win this game, DiNucci still had 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions, but he went 26 for 41, 339 yards. Whew. 3 touchdowns. Taumapeo came in and was rushing his ass off, 44 yards, 4 rushing attempts. Ben DiNucci, 41 yards, 4 rushing attempts, 1 touchdown. Philip Lindsay, former Colts running back, 30 yards off of 6 attempts, and Hammonds had 12 yards off of 8 attempts. Neither one of those scored touchdowns, though. Josh Gordon actually had I'd say one of his most productive games of the season this year. Former Cleveland Brown All-Pro. He went off. 9 receptions, 115 yards. He didn't score any touchdowns, though, but he had 9 receptions, 115 yards. Greens had 88 yards, 4 receptions, a touchdown. Jackson had 44 yards, 5 receptions. And your boy Jay Peasy, Ja'Cory Pearson, had 42 yards off of 3 receptions and 1 touchdown. VZ had 25 yards off of 2 receptions and a touchdown. Taumapeo had 1 reception for 12 yards. Hammond had 1 reception for 9 yards. And Willis had 1 reception for 4 yards. So, yeah, man. It was lit last week for Seattle. They went into this game knowing they had to put up points. They put up enough points, which really didn't matter at the end of the day because all they really needed to do was win and keep Vegas from scoring, which they did. They kept Vegas down to 9 points and scored 28 and punched their ticket to the playoffs. So that sets up this week with Seattle winning, and like I said, that Houston-Arlington matchup was already set with DC winning and beating the San Antonio Brahmas. There you go. So that put them in. Even with St. Louis winning last week, like I said, this still wasn't enough for them to keep Seattle out of the playoffs. So Seattle's in. They take on DC, and I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna get to that game in a second. The first game we got is today. It's the South Championship. It's the South Division Championship, and it's Arlington actually going to Houston to take on the Renegades, Arlington Renegades going to Houston to take on the Houston Roughnecks for the South Division Championship. So, this could be crazy if Arlington turns around and wins this game. That'll blow my mind. If Arlington comes in this game and wins this game, that'll blow my mind because they're not expected to win. I'm going to keep 100. Houston didn't even start their starters last week and blew them out. So I think Arlington's going to have to come in here and play the best football they played all season just to make it to the X Bowl, XFL Championship, whatever you want to call it. I call it the X Bowl, so I'm going to continue to call it until they catch on, damn it. But the only way that Arlington can make it is if Houston comes in thinking that they're just going to run all over them and blow them out and underestimate them and think that they just have it in the bag. Houston has to come out like they've been coming out every week, playing hard, Whether they win or lose, they play hard. So they have to come out and do the same thing. If they don't, and Arlington comes out and fires on all cylinders and whoops that ass, it's going to be a beautiful upset to see, of course, but it's going to be crazy to see. And it's going to be a punishment for Houston going in that game, underestimating them. So that's today at 4 p.m. Pacific's 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be on ESPN, I believe. Yeah, that game's on ESPN. And then tomorrow, we have the Seattle Sea Dragons traveling to D.C. to taking on the number 1 team in the league, the 9-1 D.C. Defenders. Beer Snake, be ready, because them Seattle Sea Dragons is coming. And I think, honestly, I'm going to keep it 100. If Ben DiNucci goes into this game with a clear head and makes good decisions and plays very, 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 very well and keeps those turnovers down, I think it's going to be hard. Yeah, hey, real shit. Arlington better bring their A game, but Seattle needs to come in here today, and Ben DiNucci needs to play the best game he's ever played in his football career. No interceptions, no fumbles, no sacks if possible, and he needs to play lights out. He needs to play lights out. He needs to hit all his targets. He needs to make all the right decisions, because if he doesn't, DC's going to walk away with this and get their 3rd win against them in the season and go to the championship. And if Houston does not make it to the championship, DC does, DC's going to win. Period. DC's going to win. But if Houston comes into that game and with the chip on their shoulder for losing to DC this year, Houston's going to upset the world and shock DC. But if Seattle wins, I honestly, yeah, bro, he got to play like he in cheat code mode and go beast. He has to. And Ja'Cory Pearson has to play like he's been playing all season, leading the league in receiving yards and just being the league best receiver. Josh Gordon got to play his ass off today. VZ has to play his ass off today. Phillip Lindsay and them boys have to play their ass off today. Everybody has to step the fuck up and play their ass off today, or Seattle's not going to come out of here with a win. Or, excuse me, tomorrow. So, like I said, that's going to be a good game. That's the game of the week right now, honestly, and I'm excited for that game. But I'm really excited to see what Arlington does against Houston today. If it's going to be a repeat of last week, then or even the beginning of the season, whatever. Kind of called it, you know what I mean? I think San Antonio would have been a better opponent for the divisional championship, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? But honestly, I think if, like I said, Arlington comes in, they play their ass off, they do good today, and Houston plays nonchalantly and underestimates them, I think Arlington can come out with an upset win and make it to the championship. If not, Houston's going to walk away with this thing, and they're going to take it home today. And they're going to walk their way to San Antonio and play DC or Seattle in the XFL championship, aka the Expo. Now, again, tomorrow, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, on, I believe, either ABC or ESPN. I got to double check. Matter of fact, I can tell you right now. Yeah, that's going to be on ESPN. Both game, and the Arlington game is going to be on ESPN2 today. Arlington versus Houston is going to be on ESPN2 today. And tomorrow, the DC Defenders will be hosting the Seattle Sea Dragons in the North Division Championship at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. So y'all get ready, man. It's going down. It's going the fuck down. It's going down. But that's it for this week, y'all. We didn't have no fan mail this week, so I ain't got no fan mail to do with you guys. But next week we will be back with a special XFL Championship edition of the Gridiron, as well as recapping Week 3 of the USFL and previewing Week 4 of the USFL season. Also, we'll be recapping some of the, top picks of the NFL draft as well. That's still currently going on right now. So if you guys want to pull it up on ESPN or ABC, the draft is on. And again, the USFL game is on USA right now. It's 31-24. New Orleans is up on the defending champions, Birmingham Stallions. And again, today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the XFL Divisional Championship will be on the line as Arlington takes on the Houston Roughnecks in Houston today. And again, for that USFL game later on today, that will be on Fox at 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, where the 0-2 Memphis Showboats will be not traveling anywhere, playing at home, but away against the Houston Gamblers, who are also 0-2. So that game's on Fox. Check it out. Like I said, right now the New Orleans Breakers are up 31-24 against the defending champions Birmingham Stallions, and they are driving 3rd-1 at the 2 of Birmingham, and they just scored a touchdown. Oh no, they're stopped short, but they're about to score. So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. You already know what it is, man. Thank you for being here. You already know I love you guys so much, because if it wasn't for you, I would not be here, would not be doing what I'm doing. I would not be in the position to grow and progress the way I have been. I just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and being here and showing your boy that love, man. But until next time on the Gridiron, I am Jersey the King, the motherfucking king. Don't forget to say the motherfucking every time you say my name. This is the Gridiron, live on the Jersey the King show. I will see y'all next week. Go check out these games, man. Holla at ya boy. Peace out, Hit. Thank you, everybody who pulled up. I'll see y'all next week, man. Thank y'all for being here.